measures need to be taken for the area in which now over 100 cases have been found. But yes, it does serve as a warning to the government about the urgency with which it needs to act. And I can't stress this strongly enough, that we're all given hope by this vaccine rollout. We need to ensure that there's not this huge hole in our defences that would allow a mutant strain from overseas to emerge that could threaten that vaccine rollout.
Well, that's Shadow Home Secretary Nick Thomas-Symonds concluding Theo Usherwood's report. If we're going to have these hotels, why? As Theo just said, would it appear we're landing in, broadly speaking, around 400,000 people? We'll talk about the logistics of that in a moment. It's been Dr. Duncan Robertson, the policy and strategy academic from Loughborough University, specialising in COVID modelling. How important do you think quarantine hotels are, firstly, and therefore how quickly should they be?
Specialising in COVID modelling, for fuck's sake.
Hi, it's
how much of a fucking specialist can
how
you
much
be?
we want this virus to be mixing and essentially having hospitalisations and, potentially deaths. So that's always been a political question. But I think that what we're starting to see now is that it's not just as simple as thinking, it's the UK variant or the South African, as though these things are, kind of independent. We've started to see now that actually the sort of mutations that are in the South African variant are now starting to be seen in the UK variant as well. So but this is really the problem, that when people start mixing, there's still the potential of these variants to kind of combine in a way. So, we can, potentially close the borders completely, seal them off. But, if we're going to get people mixing in the UK by opening schools and pubs and restaurants, then, potentially this gives the opportunity for these variants to start mixing again.
When you look at other countries, what is your understanding of how quickly these these hotels or quarantine measures were brought in elsewhere in the world?
Well, of course, in
no, I don't know.
And,
fucking,
they have controlled their borders in a way that people do have to go through quarantine.
Terrible.
And, that potentially
get some proper people on, Nick.
These transmission to stop. And in some cases, it has escaped from quarantine, but then they've had to sort of implement them.
If they use that time to put in place the proper measures.
Always good speaking with James. Thank you, James Stark. You're a partner at 5654 Consultancy. You were Special Advisor, Chief of Staff to Pretty Patel. You work with Dominic Raab and Michael Gove as well. David is in Aylesbury. David, do you think it's too little, too late? Good morning.
Hi Nick, how are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you. What can you tell me? You've travelled much? You have, apparently. Is that right? You've been travelling?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller. I travel a bit. Last time I travelled was back in November, obviously with Christmas and all. But I can tell you from experience, the government keeps, announcing these policies and they don't actually enforce them. I've travelled and I've not been asked for my passenger locator form. I've never actually been checked if I've been doing sort of my quarantine. And again, they put in this is just, I think, outrageous. Sage has just come again and said, if you're actually going to go ahead with this, you should, protect against all countries. I mean, for instance, they've announced that they will quarantine Portugal, but what stops anyone from just driving to Madrid and getting a plane from Madrid? It's clearly lacking some robustness over here, and I would recommend the government take a look at the Canadian approach. They've just announced a 3-day quarantine in the government hotel, and they'll then do another test.
3 days, did you say?
Yeah, so I think Canada, what they've just done is, once you land in Canada, you need to get the test in Canada, so no point in taking a test before you board on the plane, because you could just get infected, right? So you land in Canada, you get a test, you'll be sent to a quarantine hotel for 3 days, and you do another test, and if that's negative, you'll be sent home, and you can do your quarantine at home.
All right, David, thank you. Good to have you as a first timer. Thank you. Look forward to our second conversation. Be like David, get it off your chest and get it on the radio. Coming up after news, we'll also put on the radio. Who would troll a seriously ill 100-year-old man? Dozens of people. I speak of Captain Sir Tom Moore in hospital battling COVID. Details on that after the 9:15 LBC News headline. Simon Conway.
Labour is accusing the government of leaving the UK's borders open to new variants of coronavirus over concerns the South African strain is now spreading in the community. Parents in Scotland are due to find out later if their children will be able to return to school by the middle of February, and heavy snow has been causing travel problems in parts of northern England. The forecast: cold with some snow in the north, milder but unsettled in the south, a high of 13 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb. For those who need to make a journey, be aware in Greater Manchester, the M62 is closed eastbound between junctions 21 at Minrow and 22 at Rishworth Moor. It's because of the snow, and there are delays back to junction 19. Also because of the snow in West Yorkshire, there are long queues on the M62 westbound to junction 23 at Huddersfield. And in Derbyshire, the M1 was closed northbound at junction 29 at the A617 because of 2 separate accidents. Just 2 lanes closed now, but still delays of about an hour and a half on the approach. In London, there are long delays on the North Circular Road westbound to Walthamstow. That was following some emergency works.
Call Nick Ferrari now. 0345 6060 973 LBC.
Climate change. Where do we start? Well, we could start by trying plant-based milk in our coffee every morning. Maybe cycling to work every once in a while. But our biggest carbon footprint could be from heating our home. Here at Valent, we're serious about climate change, which is why when you switch to a Valent boiler or heat pump, you could reduce your carbon footprint and your energy bills too. Now that is a good place to start. Find your local installer now. Why wait? Valent. Do you ever feel like getting back under your duvet in the middle of the day? Ferroglobin is a great tasting liquid formula with iron, which contributes to the reduction of tiredness and fatigue and normal formation of hemoglobin. Ferroglobin from Vitabiotics at Boots, pharmacies and vitabiotics.com.
At Vodafone, we know how important it is to keep connecting. Whether you're working from your back bedroom or keeping the kids on top of chemistry, it's now more crucial than ever to have a reliable broadband connection. So, switch to Vodafone Superfast Broadband to get average download speeds of 63 megabits per second for just £22.95 a month. Available online today.
Format contract, credit check, accept. Price rise apply. Vodafone.co.uk/.
wanted by the many, very few. For decades, Gold Bank has lived and breathed gold, sourcing the finest gold from around the world, envisioning a new standard, the Gold Bank standard. Want to increase your gold portfolio? Want to sell your gold at our best price? The time is now. Make your move today at goldbank.co.uk.
A friend said to me, give me one good reason why I'd want to go away on holiday this year. So I said, Saga, there are many reasons, such as they're only those who are fully vaccinated for coronavirus can travel policy, or their booking amendment option just in case your vaccine is delayed. They even include door-to-door VIP chauffeur service if you're flying long haul or going on a cruise, plus a private balcony with every ocean cruise cabin. Talk about escapism. With Saga's 70 years of travel experience, why wouldn't you want to swap your lounge for a lounger this year? Search Saga Travel.
For full details of the coronavirus vaccination policy, see our booking conditions. VIP travel service available in the UK up to 250 miles. Only for ocean cruises and nationwide for long-haul travel. Over 50s only. T's and C's apply.
Nick Ferrari Breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
If you're going to do it, and I have to admit I'm not a fan of the idea, but if it's necessary because of the South African strain, then it is necessary. Let's get these hotel quarantines done as soon as possible. Surely. Ali is in Slough. Hey Ali, how are you, sir?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for taking the call. You mentioned the Prime Minister and hotels. Well, I'll summarise it for you in a sentence. Basil Fawlty and 40,000.
I can see that as a cartoon in the Times now. That's very clever. Yeah, go on.
The inspiration I get is what I remember from watching 40 Towers. I mean, the cynicism, the pretense that we get, coupled with the incompetence from the Prime Minister and his top team, you'd struggle to back better even if you tried to do that. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And the fact that they were talking about this in the best part of a month or something shows you it's really unacceptable, and people are dying, the hospitals are overflowing. I mean, they have to be put under the cosh. It's totally unacceptable. 10 months down the line, we're in this horrendous position. Whatever next.
Do you agree with the need for them now, Ali?
Absolutely. Look, we should have locked down back in March last year. If there had been a proper lockdown, we would have got the virus under control and we would have saved lives rather than these silly slogans.
I think we'd have got that virus out. I sense it would have reinvented itself, but certainly it's fair to say a lot of lives would have probably potentially been saved.
Well, this is the thing. At the end of the day, those that did it, like the New Zealanders, allow for scale, fair enough, but the scale of death in this country is absolutely appalling if you look at the converse position too. So, had we taken decisive action, and we're still dithering and dilly-dallying, I mean, really, this is the most irresponsible country's had at the worst time of asking.
Well, hang on. All I would say is the vaccination level is pretty impressive.
I'll tell you what, I mean, the vaccination, if you read, I think yesterday, we're wasting 30,000 doses a day or something. Again, scratch below the surface.
You don't think the vaccination... I mean, I certainly, I didn't interrupt you when you were talking about back in March, because I think when the government inquiries take place, of course, the Britain did move today, but come on, the vaccination is a success story, come on.
Well, I am not, what's the word, impartial about these things. At the end of the day, look, where the criticism is due, I'll give it.
Yeah.
In terms of the vaccination process, we have to look at this in the context of we've got the vaccination process started, but that is not a defense or mitigation or an excuse for all of those lost lives.
No, and I'm not offering it. It was just when you said that the government has done everything so badly, I just had to throw in what I think a lot of people have said is at least currently, in a long way it be one, a success story. Ali, always enjoy speaking with you. Thank you. Camille in Kingston, let's talk hotel quarantine with you. Is it necessary, in your view?
It's essential, Nick. We're talking about vaccination program being successful. It's only successful, and